And today, some news from Kansas City regarding their preseason. Patrick Mahomes is going to play. Maybe they're actually using it as a way to distract some of us from just how lovely their kicker seems, but I digress. When the Chiefs take on the Jaguars Saturday night, Mahomes is going to play, so will Travis Kelce. Injury risks aside, Mahomes is like all in.
I'm extremely excited. I mean, obviously for me to go out there and play with these guys and showcase what we have the ability to do, but to learn from our mistakes too. I mean, you want to go out there and play for real and play against someone else. I'm tired of going against Spags and every defense known to man. I always want to get hit but not hit hard. So if I can just throw the ball and one of those DNs just wants to just give me a little push, that's all I need. I like playing in the preseason, honestly. Getting in there, trying to make sure that we're doing stuff the right way, and then getting out, trying to keep everybody healthy, and then playing the sport that I love. So I'm excited for the opportunity. Hopefully we can hold off the rain a little bit and go out there and play a good football game against a good team.
He doesn't want to get hit, he just wants to get hugged. Kansas City are again favorites, 5-1 odds to walk away with the Lombardi Trophy. Then you're going to find the team in San Francisco with the second shortest odds. They're at plus 600. Baltimore and Detroit, they are tied after that at 10-1.
And we are back with Coach Herm. All right, Kansas City, the favorite to win the Super Bowl, which, of course, has never been done in the history of the NFL 3 times in a row. What's different for this team this season versus the last 2?
Well, I think inside the building, they're not saying this, but these players understand the history that they're chasing. That's a big difference. And it's not spoken, doesn't need to be spoken. These players understand where they're at. They have a chance to go make NFL history. Think about the NFL, how long this has been in existence. No team has been able to do what they're trying to do. Along with this, don't lose sight of their defense. Last year, a bunch of young players played in the secondary, very young. People were questioning it. The offense was kind of not clicking on all cylinders. And when they got into the playoffs, all of a sudden, that's Patrick Mahomes. That's Travis Kelce, who we can't cover. So you always got to bet on the Chiefs. Why not? They have the best quarterback on the planet. They have a head football coach that's a Hall of Famer, and they know how to win. They know how to win big games. They've played in enough big games as a football team. People don't realize that sometimes. When you play in big, important games, the Chiefs are always ready to play.
And they're done that, as they have the past 2 seasons here. And then, Coach, Caleb Williams has his own kind of pressure. He's won a Heisman, #1 overall pick. He's done things his way. What's reasonable to expect from him as a rookie this season?
Well, I think he's very talented, and when you watch him play in college. He has some traits. Now, people are going to say, watch what I'm about to say. He has some traits similar to Patrick Mahomes inside the pocket.
Right.
His ability to maneuver inside the pocket, to see things, to throw from different platforms as a quarterback, right? I mean, that's what and I think he probably grew up watching Patrick Mahomes, and he kind of tailored his game after Patrick Mahomes, but he has a lot of those tendencies inside the pocket. He's not a great runner, but he can run to make things. But I think you're looking at a guy now with all the energy in Chicago. They're excited. The Chicago Bears are excited. The fans are always excited in Chicago. But then they got a first string. They got a first-round draft choice in the quarterback. They won 7 games last year. Can he compel this team and win 2 more? Or maybe 3? If they win 3 more,
playoffs.
Might get in the playoffs.
That's right.
But here again, the Detroit Lions are still sitting in that division. And there's this team up north called the Green Bay Packers.
Yes.
They got a really good quarterback, too.
They do indeed. He's paid handsomely now, Jordan Love as well. Bears, Bills in Buffalo on Saturday. Great stuff with Herm Edwards.
5 games throughout the week, including the one that will involve this guy, number 15, Patrick Mahomes, and the Kansas City Chiefs. Andy Reid says that Patrick Mahomes will play the first quarter on Saturday against the Jaguars. Your thoughts, Patrick?
My thoughts are, it's funny, we were talking about this, I think, before we came on the air with Mike Robb and with Gerald McCoy, who was here with me. And I don't know if you guys got into it on the air at all, but Mike Robb was saying, and that's why they're the 2-time defending champions. Yeah, I mean, a lot of traditional folks believe that you got to play football to get better at football. Mike Tomlin's another one. Give us an opportunity to sharpen our skills before we get to the regular season. I'm going to take advantage of it. Andy Reid being one of those guys, Patrick Mahomes, and those guys are bought in too. It's not like, oh man, we got to go. Like, the Chiefs are good with going out there, playing football. Sure, there's a risk of injury, but the upside in Andy Reid's mind is to make sure that these guys are ready to go for the start of the regular season, for the start of another title defense, and this is the way he's going to do it.
All right, time now for Built for Success, presented by Rocket Mortgage. Sometimes, we have to stretch it a little bit on Built for Success. The Chiefs, who have won the last 2 Super Bowls, not so much. They're always built for success. Have they actually gotten faster through the course of this offseason? Well, they added Xavier Worthy as a 4.21 40. Hollywood Brown, most recently of the Cardinals. Obviously, Isaiah Pacheco, Rashee Rice. We know those guys can burn. So can Kadarius Toney. We don't even have them all on the list here, but certainly the Chiefs, Mike, one of the fastest teams in the NFL. They'll be opening up not too long from now, less than 4 weeks away, against the Ravens in the regular season opener. We will not see, however, that guy, Lamar Jackson, in the preseason opener at least. Coach John Harbaugh said today, Lamar not going to play this weekend against the Eagles. We also will not see Derrick Henry, not just this week, but throughout the entire preseason. Harbaugh saying Derrick Henry, they are going to conserve the veteran running back. We'll see him for the first time September 5th against the Chiefs. Meanwhile, elsewhere in the AFC North, Russell Wilson is listed as #1 on the Pittsburgh depth chart. Kirk Cousins, of course, listed #1 on the Atlanta depth chart. But Raheem Morris has already said not intending to play Kirk Cousins, at least in these first couple of preseason games. So that guy, the surprise #8 overall pick, Michael Penix Jr., will get his opportunity Friday against the Dolphins. It's always interesting to see, as we bring back Mike Garafolo here, some of the approaches the different teams take. I think we're actually seeing a swing back a little bit to seeing some of the teams playing their starters more. Zach Taylor, among others, is going to play the Bengals starters a little bit here in the preseason. But for Michael Penix, getting in there and having an opportunity here, Mike, this is one of those steps in the process we were talking about way back in April, which is if this guy looks good in the preseason, definitely continues to shift the dynamic a little bit as we get toward the real games.
Folks in Atlanta, Falcons don't seem to be concerned about that at all. Their primary objective is to make sure that Michael Penix gets out there and gets some experience. They're not saying, well, if he really goes out and lights it up, people are going to be clamoring for him to start, and there might be... No. The only time I think that's a concern is if it gets into the regular season and then Kirk Cousins starts to struggle a little bit. So right now, the primary focus is we've got a #8 overall pick that we expect to, at some point, be our quarterback of the future. Got to get him out there. Got to get as much as we possibly can. Again, eliminating the risk of injury as much as you possibly can to get him out there and start to get him some looks and see what he can do on a football field. Of course, it's going to be fodder for the likes of us and maybe some fans who want to see perhaps him get out there at some point during the regular season. But again, that's going to be mostly up to Kirk Cousins and how he plays once we get to week 1 and beyond.
Mike, you and I also both went through Latrobe, Pennsylvania. We're at Steelers camp here. Russell Wilson, again, suffered that calf strain during the conditioning drill. He's been pushing to practice. He wants to be out there. They haven't fully cut him loose.